Ah, well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Today. Oh, yeah. Why am I saying yeah like that? That's not the right. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. Today. Yeah. We have a lot in store for you. But first and foremost, let me just say this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to episode 12 of the phenomenon known to all as Saturday afternoon's main event. Of course, if you do not know who I am, dumb, stupid, blind, etc., I suggest you go to school, go into your library, find the biggest dictionary, preferably Merriam-Webster, and look me up under the word phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, the phenomenal, and of course, here on Saturday afternoon's main event, I'm not alone because, of course, I'm joined by my co-host, the limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun, who is not having a hard time holding his alligators down. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, give me 2 claps and a peep snatch.
Woo! Yes, we are here. Another busy week, another huge wrestling week, another newsworthy wrestling week. And I think that we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna digress a bunch. We're gonna talk.
Yeah.
And we're going to go ahead and talk about some things that happened this week that have a lot of implications as to things going on in the future and the current, both WWE and AEW. So stay tuned. Now that's what you call a tease, folks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you guys for going ahead and tuning in on this episode of Saturday afternoon's main event. Of course, if you are watching from YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter, we appreciate you guys. We thank you guys for the support. As Pete said, it's a jam-packed show. We're gonna get it to you in a good amount of time. It's gonna be quick. It's gonna be easy. It's not gonna be anything that you have to worry about too much. But I'm telling you, it is jam-packed. So, peeps, is it better to just go ahead and get started with it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, of course, when you hear this, you mean to know that it's one thing and one thing only. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Wrestling Crash Course. First topic of today. Triple H has been rewarded 99.9% of creative control by TKO. Mind you guys, 99.9%. When we say the 0.1s, we usually know that somebody has to do with that, and that's Peeps Nate. So, Peeps, care to explain what the 99.9% means?
Well, if I'm thinking that 0.1% that's left over from the 99.9% is going to be based on something that's going to balance everything out, if you try to add that to that 99.9%, you may get 100%, but the 100% still can't be there. The reason why it can't still be there, somebody has to get that 0.1%. I think most people have an idea who that 0.1% goes to, but I digress. There you go.
Hold on. Guys, screw Steiner math. We just got Sean Black math. Guys, give Mr. Peep Stage a round of applause, yo. Remember, people, pat on the back. 15 inches away from a kick in the rear. You did good.
Yes.
You did good. We'll take it. But yeah, so look, that 0.1, look, in all that we've heard, we're now hearing that the CEO of TKO, of course, president, I don't know what else to purposely call him, but Ari Emanuel has said that Vince McMahon is the reason that stocks went down. I don't know. Like, Vince actually has a boss that can blame him now. Peeps, who would have thought we would see the day that Vince McMahon is getting run by somebody on his own damn company? Golly.
Yeah. Go figure.
Times have certainly changed, man. Times have really certainly changed. I don't get it, but you know what? We stick around and we see what is going to happen. So let's just go ahead and give it time, right?
Yes.
But if it's 99.9%, let's try to enjoy it as much as we tried to last year. That's all I'll say, you know?
Yeah.
But from that, it seems like the 99.9% is getting kicked in the right way because, guys, Roman Reigns versus LA Knight is reported to be held in Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel.
You mean Sweet Saudi Money part? What is it? 8, 9? I've lost count of how many times they've been there in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Saudi Money? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who's getting a big payday? The megastar, with everybody saying
L.A. Knight.
Yeah. There we go. But,
boy.
Yeah. So that's gonna be happening. As reported, it thought it was gonna be Cena versus Reigns, part 2, or actually part 3 if we're gonna count, No Mercy. But with this, I guess the story kicks in the right way, because what we saw last night, I'm not gonna lie to you, I felt like I was watching Rock versus Austin of the New Era. I'm not gonna lie. You had the one person out of the Samoan family dynasty, and you had the loudmouth talker that gains the attraction of all the fans, and you put them both together, and you got the Nana peeps. I kid you not. And listen, I'm not talking no Prince Nana, okay? I'm talking Nana, okay? So listen.
Yes.
Honestly, for me, I sit there and I look at that and I'm just like, we got a moneymaker with this. But is it too early to have LA Knight versus Roman Reigns? Should it be LA Knight versus somebody? But of course, we know they're not going to pull the plug on LA Knight. We know they're not going to go ahead and literally make the man champion. If they were, now listen, I mean, but the fact that they revisited Cody versus Roman, last night, and we already know what might be happening next year. If SAG after it doesn't go ahead and get their, their scat together, but peeps, I mean, jeez, man, we're in for something. We are in for something.
Yes, that was, I would say, Attitude Era level pop. The way that John Cena set everything up, and he got a huge ovation from the fans. And then you got Roman come down, and Roman, who has not been on television in 2 months, he got huge pop, which then followed by boos because he's the bad guy. No. But of course, after all of that, to find out how they set it up with John Cena saying, I'm here to acknowledge you. I'm here to let you know that I didn't earn a championship match, but I know who did. And out comes L.A. Knight. Yeah. And that is what they are building toward. And I think even if nothing happens from it, the fact that they did it, and it's showing that they're finally getting over the organic push that the fans want to see this guy get that push, even if he loses. They did a great job. And even more so, they did great camera work. I don't know if you noticed it.
Peeps,
but
the camera shot of LA Knight staring into the soul of Roman Reigns while the reflection of Roman is in the glasses. I've seen peeps. And not even that. The camera work the whole night was just amazing.
Yes.
If you remember the face-off with Roman and Cody, the way that the both of them were literally just staring into each other's souls, and then you had Nick Aldis in the middle, just like, this is why I love it. You could read the man's mind. It was just like, he was just like, this is why I love wrestling. Honestly, I felt like I was Nick Aldis in between all of it, because it was just like, you haven't.
You mentioned Nick Aldis. There was a Nick Aldis sighting on SmackDown.
Oh yeah.
Another
topic.
God, yes.
Nick Aldis and Kevin Owens are the new faces on the Blue brand. How crazy. Yes. So, of course, as reported, Kevin Owens is the trade capital from the Jey Uso trade. There's that. So, we got Kevin Owens on the Blue brand now. So, no more KO and Sammy, which means no more KO and Sammy versus the Judgment Day on Monday Night Raw. It's the main event. How crazy. Oh, damn it. We've come a long way. We have come a long way.
Yes, we have.
Wow.
Yes, we have.
But, yes, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Pearce is now the new general manager of Monday Night Raw, which means we had to have a new general manager on SmackDown. And with that being said, Triple H has brought in
Dominic Mysterio. Oh, sorry about that. No. Could you imagine that? Dominic Mysterio, he would basically go ahead and book every match would be Rey Mysterio versus somebody else and him getting
Bobby
jobbed
Lashley.
out.
Rey Mysterio versus Bobby Lashley. Rey Mysterio
Yes.
versus what's his face? Bronson Reed if he were to get him traded.
Yes.
Rey Mysterio versus, I would say, the Street Profits. Handicap Extreme Rules match.
Yes.
They'll come around and say that if Rey loses 5 out of the if Rey Mysterio loses 1 out of the 10 matches that he's proposed to win in, he has to vacate the United States title, for God's sake.
Yes. Now there's your Steiner match right there.
You know what?
And then of course Rhea Ripley's in the main event of every show. So that's how it
Yeah. Because every night is mommy's night, because mommy's on top.
Of course.
I don't know. Oh, golly. Anywho,
Yes.
so yeah, Nick Aldis is not a general manager of Friday Night SmackDown.
Yes. I'm calling him General Manager Swole because he was wearing the hell out of that suit. That crispy 3-piece suit with the tie and oh my goodness. It's amazing that 6'5",
Yup.
260 pounds, and he is finally getting that WWE push by being an authority figure. And he's only 36 years old. So he could probably still get in there and still get physical with anyone.
Because mind you, remember, they had Samoa Joe be Regal's enforcer up until Joe snapped and became NXT champion. Now I digress.
Yes.
Look,
oh yeah.
all I'm
there's
saying,
number 2.
peeps, all I'm saying, imagine Cody beats Roman at next year's WrestleMania. First person to face him for the WWE title, Nick Aldis. Peeps,
wow.
Fall back to All In. I mean,
that would work. That would work.
Honestly, work. Now you're giving me too many ideas, and now I'm just salivating at the thought of it. Let me not. So yes. Aldis, general manager of SmackDown. Adam Pearce, general manager of Monday Night Raw. But speaking of Monday Night Raw, there's this rumor going around. They're saying Raw might be leaving Mondays. Now, I don't like the rumors. I don't like the stuff like that, but somehow Ari Emanuel, of course, CEO of Endeavor, TKO, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
He said that he was open to having Raw move from Mondays. Not sure if they meant Tuesdays. Not sure if they meant Wednesdays. Not sure if they meant Thursdays. Not sure if they even meant Sundays. So now it's going to be, instead of Sunday Night Heat, you got Sunday Night Raw. Why not?
Sunday Night Raw.
Damn it. God sake.
Oh,
but, yeah, so peeps, hearing that this might happen, okay, we're not saying that it is.
There you go.
It doesn't. But peeps, what is the fraction chance? Okay, what is the Steiner math equation for this happening?
Well, I'm looking at it like this. Raw has been on, 31, 32 years?
Yeah.
It's looking right now that because of the signing of SmackDown, which we know in 2024 is going to be moving to USA Network. Now we know that that's a little bit too rich, potentially, to have both of the flagship shows on USA Network. Yeah. We also know USA Network. They know Mondays they're getting trounced by football in the fall, and then college football, college basketball, the NHL, baseball playoffs. So they're going to have to figure out some way to subtract something to add something else to get a positive equation. So if they're going to do that, I would probably put this at a 31.5% chance of happening. That's
you were close.
all I could give
so
you.
Instead of a 33 1/3 chance, it's a 31.5.
There you go.
Peeps, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
See, I guess the higher ups already know where we're going to be going with the end of this. Because, peeps, I don't get it. Look, guys, we're going to get to this after I'm done with this, okay? So just give it a sec. Next is Jade meets Charlotte. Of course, we know Jade Cargill got signed to the WWE.
Yes.
We know that she appeared at Fastlane. She appeared.
Boy, did she appear. Woo! As the superstar would say, have mercy.
Have mercy. Fastlane, NXT, and now she graced SmackDown television, but finally with a face-to-face interaction.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jade Cargill went face-to-face with the Queen herself. Woo! Charlotte
Yes.
Flair. Let me do the Flair thread. Because, peeps, I tell you, oh my God, I felt like a 60-minute man, baby.
Woo! There you go. Exactly. It was it was a magical moment to have on camera. And it also goes to show you there are so many different branches that this tree can grow. And what they're doing is they're germinating things here and there. Okay, well, Jade is here. Okay, Jade is there. Oh, Jade is with upper management. Oh, Jade is out of the car. Oh, Jade is in your face right now. Why is she in Charlotte's face? Tune in to find out.
Exactly, but the funniest part was Triple H going ahead and just bumping in the middle, just like, oh,
yes,
Charlotte, I want you to meet.
You know my friend? Yeah, the person that I just signed from another company. You know her? Yeah, we were just hanging out. All we were doing is drinking water and eating saltine crackers. That's all we were doing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, but Charlotte just saying, oh yeah, the pleasure will be all hers. Peeps, if this is not screaming WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber of some sorts, I don't know what is screaming. But the potential match that we're going to be getting sooner or later,
yes.
As long as she's still training, slow build, exactly. But I still want to see her get in the ring, though. You know, I don't know how long.
Yes.
But you know, we I guess as wrestling fans, we have to be patient, right?
Yes, very.
Yeah,
you learn as a wrestling fan to be very patient.
Of course. Kermit Dude says this was crazy. You're definitely right, man. You are definitely right. Welcome the same as well, bud. Welcome the same. We appreciate you being here. But yeah, from there we go from one ex-AEW talent to another. CM Punk and WWE talk. In the words of Macho Man Randy Savage, pre-WrestleMania match with Hulk Hogan. Remember how Macho Man said, Hulkamania is dead. These talks, they're dead. Okay? Forget it. They're over with. Done with. Okay?
Yes.
I want to hear it. It's over.
Yes.
Or so we believe. Because, of course, they did the same thing with Cody. I'm just saying that. Because, mind you, they were saying, oh, yeah, WWE's not talking to Cody. Cody said he's pretty much just taking a break, right? Cody said he's, and the thought of him going back to AEW is really high compared to him going back to WWE. Didn't they say that, peeps?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I think you believe it just as much as I do.
So, honestly, I can't listen to anything right now. Of course, they're saying that it's dead. Okay, cool. Let's just wait till Survivor Series in Chicago. Because, we know how WWE is when it comes to certain things. And I guess these are one of the things that they're trying to throw you off on. Because if you notice as of late, TKO has been making headlines by putting out who they've re-signed, who's going to be, on the card, what's going to be happening, who they signed, whatever the case may be. This is a major signing. This is something that's potentially going to blow the roof off the place. It's not like they announced that The Rock was going to go ahead and be on SmackDown, did they? Exactly. No, it just happened. And you saw the social media interactions that got.
Yes.
Pete, don't you think that as the November, one of the major 5 pay-per-views, you're going, or should I say premium live events? You might as well. Anywho, one of the major 5 shows, you're gonna tell me that they're not gonna want to have a surprise out of it. Now, granted, I understand. I'm hearing that they're saying now that Randy Orton is scheduled to return in November. So they announced him. You see where I'm getting at, peeps?
Yes.
People already sought out that Randy Orton was gonna have to come back sooner or later, which is fine. But peeps, this is CM Punk, okay? A guy that was recently in the other side, a man that once was the face of the company, official-ish, I guess you can say.
Yes.
This man literally had the keys to the city, left, and fans would still chant his name in arenas. Peeps, I was one of them. Why? Because I went to the Garden for a show in 2021, and I stood outside the corridor, and I sat there and I chanted CM Punk for literally 5 seconds. And for the next 30 seconds, fans all the way out on 34th Street continue to chant CM Punk. What does that tell you? We miss the man. We want him back. If you're going to tell us right now that, oh yeah, he's back, that ruins the element of surprise. Imagine imagine it. I want you to close your eyes real quick, okay?
Okay.
Imagine you're sitting down on your couch, eating your pizza rolls, okay?
Yes.
Drinking your iced tea, watching War Games or whatever tag team match is going on, whatever's going on, right? And out of nowhere, Cult of Personality rings. The Allstate Arena's roof gets blown off a heap, and CM Punk makes his long-awaited return back to the company. Probably a cool camera shot, since they're doing a lot of cool camera work, where he's in Gorilla, exits out through the black, kind of looks over at Triple H and the rest of the people behind creative, and he just walks through, and casually you just see the sea of fans just looking out at Punk, and Punk looking back at him, and he just has that stupid grin on his face. Peeps, isn't that fairy tale-esque?
That is very fairy tale-esque, which is also the good aspect of it, but also the scary part of it. The scary part is you set yourself up for the disappointment if it doesn't happen.
Of course.
But if it does happen, cue the ice cream bars, because that's what everybody's going to be getting. Nothing but Charles Montgomery Punk ice cream bars, and everybody is going to relax. They're going to look into the ring. They're going to inhale the excitement as it's bubbling through the building. And then they're going to realize what kind of a metric ton of firepower just happened within the arena for Charles Montgomery Punk, if it does happen. But as we see right now, it's not going anywhere. As Razor Ramon said a long time ago, or I should say Scott Hall when he was in WCW, when they were talking about where's the Nacho Man, he's like, oh no. that's what it is right now. It's a no for right now.
I get it, peeps. I get it. All I'm saying is that we were like this when Cody was supposed to be making his return, and we sat there the day of, and we were like, yeah, if it's not Cody, watch it be Shane McMahon. And we joked about it up to the point that we heard wrestling has more than one royal family. So I'm just saying, let's give it time, man. Let's just give it time. But the Freedom says, in the words of Michael Cole regarding CM Punk, thanks for coming. Wow. Everybody's just kind of against this. Okay, no problem, no problem. I get it. So in the words of, Scott Hall for real, ooh, no. Okay.
No. And no, I don't have a toothpick to throw at the camera. So we'll keep it at that.
Yeah, get it, peeps. It's okay, man. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sisters of all ages, that marks the end of the first half of Saturday afternoon's main event. When we come back, we're going to go ahead and get into our questions and then our last topic for today's show. So stay tuned. Do not go anywhere, because the second half of Saturday afternoon's main event is coming up next. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the second half of Same. Of course, it's the phenomenal one alongside the Peeps Nate, here to give you laughs, good times, and all the wrestling news possible. Of course, we're going to go ahead and get into our questions. But before we do that, we have a comment here from the Phenom, and he says, why does Nate look like he's part of the MJF club? Peeps, care to explain?
It is cold in the Northeast. Not cold, but chilly. This is a little rainy. For those that don't know about the Northeast, in the last 6 weekends, we've got nothing but rain and chilly temperatures. So it's a little bit chilly. So I decided to stay warm. I'm wearing the MJF brown. I got the sweatshirt. I'm comfortable. I am nice and toasty, and I'm good. So there you go. Hey, the only thing I'm missing is the scarf.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with our questions. Of course, guys, you know that if you want to go ahead and send in a question, all you got to do is one thing and one thing only. DM us on Instagram at Saturday Afternoons _main event. Send in the question, and I guarantee you that it will be on the next episode of the show. So
There you
without
go.
further ado, let's go ahead and get into the first one from Master Sean 007. He says, greetings, gentlemen. When we talk about wrestling, we always mention the wrestlers, the managers, the numerous podcasts, and the fans. But there's one person out there that deserves his flowers for his work in the wrestling industry. His name is none other than Bill Apter. I would like to know what the two of you think about his influence on the sport of pro wrestling. Peeps, let me just say this first and foremost. When it comes to Bill Apter, I know one person who likes Bill Apter, and that's the Phenom. Why? Because he was born in Queens. Zing, I know you got the reference there. You got the reference there. But
That's a good one.
But Apter, look, God love him. 77 years old. Has literally brought what kayfabe means to a lot of wrestling fans. And of course, you know, I wasn't one that was around this era. Of course, Peeps been around since the dawn of the dinosaurs. Peeps
There we
would
go.
know you enough more about Bill Apter more than I can. But William Apter, if I can just say, I've read most of the things that he's done. I've listened to the history. Look, to know that PWI wouldn't be PWI without some of the success and the backstage stories of Bill Apter, the 90-minute questionnaire with Tammy Sitch. I digress.
So there you go.
Yeah, you know, listen, Bill, one of the greats. Definitely, you're right. He does deserve his flowers. His influence on the sport, if it wasn't for him, most definitely, the way that kayfabe would be so mainstream in magazines and certain things like that, it wouldn't reign so true if it didn't come from him. One of the better pro wrestling journalists prior to what the scat show that we have in Dave Meltzer is. Just saying. Hey, just saying.
That's a lot of strife, chaos, angst, and turmoil. So yeah,
Yep, definitely. But yeah, you know, I see guys like Sean Ross Sapp, you know, people from Fightful. Of course, Pro Wrestling Illustrated still as a whole. I mean, you know, they look after the work of Apter. They try to mimic off of that, and they still make good of it. And it's still a lot of fans to, I would say, indulge and appreciate what wrestling is, especially when it comes to kayfabe. And to know guys like MJF still keep it, and to know that, you know, like, people still love to stay in character outside of the job, you know, like continuously trying to go ahead and make sure that wrestling is still as sacred as it once was, although I don't think it can with the words of social media. But for social media back then, Apter was social media for wrestling, okay? But honestly, when you mention Apter, one of the greats. I like, you know, like, hats off to him. Definitely a name that will still live on when it comes to wrestling fans that deep down really know who William Apter is, but that's just me. So Peeps, I'll pass it on to you.
Okay. And the one thing that I like about this question, by the way, nice question, Master Sean 007. The one thing that I have to say with Bill Apter is wrestling fans have a symbiosis with the product involved, whether it's other fans, whether they are talking about what they saw, what may happen next, going to different shows, having that community aspect way before, as you stated, before social media became a thing. Anybody that wanted to find out anything about wrestling that stayed in kayfabe, the importance of what wrestling journalism now is, because we know wrestling journalism is more or less what storyline has happened, who may leave, who's coming to this company. That wasn't what wrestling journalism was back in the 70s and the 80s and even in the early part of the 90s. What wrestling publications like The Wrestler, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, publications like that, Inside Wrestling, those publications were more or less designed to protect the business as far as covering storylines in other territories that no one was able to find out unless you were a tape trader and you got information about what's happening in Memphis, what's happening in World Class in Texas, what was happening in the NWA various territories or the AWA. If you did not get in a major a major market, let's say you were in New York or California or Florida or in one of these major markets, if you didn't get the major companies, like at the time, AWA, WWF, NWA, the minor promotions, you didn't know anything about. You only, for the most part, got that information from Bill Apter and his publications. And from that was born another aspect of the wrestling community that I thoroughly cherish, which is the wrestling publications that protected kayfabe. You weren't going to go to Bill Apter and he's going to interview Vince McMahon and let you know why such and such happened in such and such storyline. You're not going to hear Bill Apter go to the NWA and find out why did Jim Crockett do such and such with Ric Flair. Those weren't the stories. The stories were, why did Ric Flair turn on Sting? The story was, what was Andre the Giant thinking about when he turned on Hogan? Yep. What was the idea behind why Andre the Giant would align himself with Bobby Heenan? Those were the stories that were there. And one made wrestling publications seem credible within the fandom of the wrestling fan. It put legitimacy into the journalism that the wrestling fans, maybe that weren't mainstream wrestling fans, but you say you go to the supermarket, you find a wrestling magazine, you see Hogan on the cover, or you see Andre on the cover, you see Flair on the cover, and it's like, you know what, let me read this. And you may get a morsel of realism, but it was all kayfabe.
Yeah.
Bill Apter was the progenitor of what wrestling journalism has become, what it is now. And there may be, on the flip side, a hint of realism or a hint of kayfabe, but there's much more realism in the wrestling journalism now, where a lot of people love that kayfabe style that Apter and others brought, like Joe Pedicino, that were also part of the wrestling vernacular. Jim Cornette was at one time a photographer for wrestling magazines, and he was able to take pictures and send them to a Pro Wrestling Illustrated, to the local newspapers. In the New York area, in the Daily News newspaper, there was a wrestling segment, a guy named The Spoiler, who was a guy that wore a mask and reported on things that happened at house shows, or would drop news about, well, we just heard that so-and-so just left the company, he's going to another promotion. All of that started with the brainchild of Bill Apter. And at this point in time, he is probably the single most important wrestling journalist that has ever graced the face of this earth. And I don't say that with a lot of hyperbole. I'm not saying just to say something. It is the God's honest truth. And his importance is the reason why a lot of wrestling storylines have happened, because Bill Apter's journalism protected the business in bigger ways than most people will really realize.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Well said, peeps. Master Sean 007.
That's a great question.
Amazing question.
That was a great question.
Next one comes from Hot Rod 316. Hot Roos. Have mercy on your soul. He says, who do you like better, MJF as a babyface or as a scumbag heel? In addition, do you believe Adam Cole has bad luck in AEW? You know why. LOL.
I'll throw this. You take this one, because I'm really curious as to what you're thinking on this one.
Okay. First and foremost, the MJF question. I like the man as a heel. Keep it $150 with you. Scumbag, low down, dirty, gives you a chance to look back at Four Horsemen Ric Flair-ish. Would I be wrong, peeps?
No, you wouldn't.
Would I be wrong? Okay.
You're definitely you're in the right path.
Okay, so dirtiest player in the game. Definitely one that doesn't care about the fans, especially when it comes to keeping kayfabe in certain areas. I remember I was listening to Sherry Shepherd once, of course. And she talked about how she was on this flight, and it was a New York flight. And for some reason, MJF was on the flight as well. Her son, big AEW fan, goes ahead and says, Mommy, I want to go ahead and try to talk to MJ, but he's a bad guy. I don't know if I should like go up to him or not. And she's like, sweetie, he's just a regular person. Let's just go. She had some going up to MJF.
Oh boy, was she in for something? Yes.
My Lord, MJF. God bless this man's soul. Because for some reason, right, she ends up going ahead, walking over to MJF, and she's like, she taps him on his leg, I guess, and she's like, are you the famous wrestler MJF? And MJF, heel and all, snaps back at her and just says, no.
You can actually picture this conversation too.
And then she's like, oh, well, why do people tell you that you look like the famous wrestler MJF? And, he'd snap back. He's like, yes. And then he just puts his headphone on and he just continues to just watch whatever he was watching. And he doesn't even give a damn to what she was saying. I'm just like, damn. So then when Sherry ends up going back to her son, she's like, oh my gosh, he's such a jerk. And the son, who actually gets wrestling, says, Mom, he's a heel. This is what heels do. And I'm just like, when the kids understand it, it makes even more sense. But the fact that people know that he plays such a damn good heel, one of the best in the current, and honestly, even being for real, one of my guys, one of the people that I literally idolize, The Undertaker, has been one to say that if he were to face somebody now who can keep kayfabe and to make sure that, he was good in the ring and, protect them and everything like that, there was one person that he would come out of retirement for, it would be MJF.
That would have been an insane feud, too. Could you imagine that?
Peeps. Can you imagine? Two men that certainly keep kayfabe going up against each other. One, the definition of a real heel. And the other one, the best person to ever play a dead guy in the world today. Let's be real. But still, that right there, if it would have happened around WrestleMania 25 and MJF would have been the type of person that he is now, peeps, I honestly would have told you that match would have been 10 stars.
Oh, yeah.
If there was one person I'd tell you that I want to defeat the streak, it would probably be MJF. I'm not going to lie to you.
That would have been something.
How to get better heat. Most definitely.
And he definitely would have benefited from that rub, much more so than Brock. So,
yeah, you're not wrong on that. But from there, second part of the question. Do I believe he has bad luck? Yeah. Why am I saying yeah like that? Yeah.
There you go.
Taekwon says this. He's like, Adam Cole is more fragile than the Yellow Ranger on the highway.
Ooh. Okay.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Adam Cole, he's had 2 concussions. He's broken his ankle. And I believe he had another injury. This is all while he's been in AEW. He's been in AEW now, 2 years now. And since he's been here, those are the injuries. And at certain points, it's derailed storylines that they would have used him for. One of them was supposed to be a world title picture shortly after the Owen Hart tournament last year.
Definitely.
But he had a concussion, so he couldn't compete. And he was off television for 6 months. So he is unbelievably talented. But he also, I think somebody put voodoo or hex on him, or somebody did something to him, because everywhere he goes, something bad happens to him. I don't know if he's got a black cat in front of him, if he walked underneath a ladder, if he broke a mirror. I don't know what he's done. Whatever it is, he needs to find a cure.
You know who he needs to consult to? Jeff Hardy. Because that man has walked under plenty of ladders.
Yes.
Well, actually, no, he has had a lot of bad luck too. I digress.
Oh.
Anywho.
That's number 4.
Anywho.
There you go.
Taekwon, we'll get to you after. Just give me a second. We have a new viewer in named Burra Cancini. I don't know if I said your name right. He says hi from Canada. Welcome, man. Welcome from
Toronto. Greetings.
Wait. I gotta go ahead and do the rock thing. You know what I'm about to do, peeps?
Go right on ahead.
Yeah. So that's where we're from, Toronto. Yeah, shut. I'm playing, man. Well,
Yeah.
I'm just saying we appreciate you coming in, man. We thank you.
Yes.
His question, he actually had a question as well. He said, "Do you think Adam Copeland can win the world title in AEW?" If it's not in his clause, then yes. I honestly do think if there would be one person to hold the title to make it a little bit more prestigious after MJF, although he has done everything to make that title mean something.
Yes.
And it really does mean something now. If there was one person to just be like, oh yeah, he also held the AEW World Champion. Sure, add Adam Copeland to it. I think he can. The question is, does he take it off MJF or does he take it off somebody else? Do we get Ultimate Opportunist Edge back to be the one to take it off MJF if MJF stays a face? That's the real question right there, right?
Yeah.
But that's all that matters. But we'll see how it is. We'll see how it works. Taekwon said this because you said something about the black cat.
Yes.
And you know how Taekwon gets when he gets vulgar.
Okay.
So he's like, Peeps just said black cat is dangerous. I
get it.
Yeah, you get it. Okay, good.
I'm gonna leave that one alone, but I know where he's going with that one.
Good job, Peeps. Good job.
There you go.
Great.
Yes.
Hot Rod says this. What the hell the crappy Phenom is yapping about? Listen up, dumbass. The New York Mets suck. Welcome. Have a nice day. Peeps, what are we gonna do about this man? Don't you like the Yankees? Where are they at? You know what? Nah, I digress. Peeps, no, I'm going off script. Screw it. Look, as long as you see this on my head, you have nothing to say, okay? I am a New York Met for life. Screw you. You're fired. Anywho.
There you go. Yeah, he's back into Griffey. He's back into Griffey mode, folks. He had to turn the hat back. He's in Griffey mode. There you go.
I'm in Griffey mode. Cool, calm and collected.
Yes.
Anywho. Phenom said this earlier. He was like, my hometown, by the way, the best borough of all New York, Queens. I'm really getting a ball out of this.
I guess he's not a Taz fan, is he? Still.
That Red Hook piece of trailer park trash.
Oh, boy.
That's enough that you're getting out of me today. But Taekwon continued to say, Jeff Hardy's bad luck is called drug. Well, I mean, yeah. That's what I meant, bro. Okay.
Yeah, those are his demons, and I hope
the rehab world champion.
I'm hoping. What I will say about Jeff Hardy is, I hope he's in a better place. He looks as healthy as he's going to be, considering his body is literally beaten up. So let's hope that he is in that better place and can continue to stay in that better place and continues to stay healthy. That's all I care about from Jeff Hardy.
Definitely. You're not wrong on that. Burger Cancini says, I think Ed should have been world champion in WWE for the last time. Honestly, I said that when it came to the World Heavyweight Championship. I really did want that to happen. I think Peeps and I were both ones that said, okay, if he's in the tournament, it makes sense. Let's go ahead and put the world title on him. Damn it. We didn't get it. Because, mind you, Edge never lost the world title. He had to vacate it due to injury. Retirement and everything like that. So I really wanted it to be that swan song, holding the world heavyweight title, dropping it to somebody, and then finally going ahead and getting his last hurrah. And if he moved on to AEW, then that would have worked. But you know what? One thing I can say, if he wants to end his career in AEW, let him hold the world title. If he's going to come back to WWE, give him the world title as a swan song. That's if he wants to continue. But for me, I honestly thought that it was over a good while back. But now we know that it isn't. Yeah. It's going to be there for a good couple of years. Who knows?
And what I think what Adam Copeland is going to do is what I think is, if they decide to put the championship on him whenever it is, because he's seemingly there for the long haul. If he's there for, let's say, 2 years, if he wins the world championship, he's going to put it on somebody to get them over going forward that will make the most sense. I think that's what would happen.
Definitely.
But we're talking about Tony Khan here, so we don't know what's going on.
We'll get into that sooner.
Yes.
But before we do that, Last couple of ones. Phenom says,
Okay.
what a piece of garbage is the Hot Rod talking about? I think he should be canceled. Guys, anybody who's in the chat right now, type cancel Hot Rod. Please do. I want to see you guys actually do that. Yes, please. Taekwon says, Edge did lose the world title. His neck lost it for him. Neck legit ass world champion. Peeps. Peeps. What are we gonna do with him? What are we gonna do with him? He knows too much.
I tell you, he's on point as usual. He's on point.
Somebody get this man a neuralizer.
There you go.
Last question came, or kind of like concern comment came from Tombstone City Adam. He said, talking about Cena and Taker doing less than 1 mil while Edge just did 600K is insane to me.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to.
Someone said it. Great. This is about to be a good show. This is about to be a good show. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that marks the end of the questions for Saturday afternoon's main event. We thank you guys. We appreciate the questions. They were great today.
Yes.
As we always say, if you want to send in a question, all you got to do is one thing and one thing only. DM us on Instagram at Saturday afternoons _main event. DM us a question. I guarantee you it will be on the next episode of the show. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So with that being said, we're going ahead and getting into the next topic. And David, really, he had his shot and lost it because he got stacked at WrestleMania by my tribal chief. You're welcome and good night.
Well, there you go.
We'll talk later, man. Don't worry, you're getting a diatribe from me. You are getting a bitch okay? I don't care. You're getting one. But still, as I said, back on the topic of what we're getting into, okay? And it's AEW's real problem, Tony Khan. Peeps.
Yeah.
Peeps. What is the I Digress count at?
We are right now, we've got 5 today. And before we went in, we're at 125 if you add those 5 for the year. And I have a feeling that somehow we're going to be adding to a lot of that today.
This is going to be something. Okay.
Yes.
So look, guys, let's just go ahead and take it back a little bit, okay? If that makes sense. Let's go ahead and go back to maybe we can say last week before NXT, right? Okay, so I was talking crazy about we going to war. You know, that's what the talk was. Remember last week when I was like, oh yeah, WWE's bringing along the Avengers.
Yeah,
you know, they're going head to head. Tuesday Night Wars, one night only. This is more like ECW one night stand, but for the PG fans. You remember? Okay, so people, you remember this? Okay.
Yes.
So night before, Tony goes on his favorite app ever, called Twitter, or should I say X?
X. There you go.
And had a lot of crazy things to say. So first and foremost, hours before the show, literally around noon, I guess somebody reported that Triple H and Shawn Michaels are going to be sending a message to Tony Khan tonight, speaking on Tuesday, that WWE is still far more superior this, that, and the third. Tony Khan, all right, being Tony Khan, goes on X. He quote tweets the tweet. And then he's like, well, guess what? I have a message for them too. AEW going ahead and doing this tonight. How many minutes commercial free? This, that, and the third. And then adds in a photo that's tagged to them. And a photo is a just a two-worded, you know, visual. And it just said, what? Bald a-holes?
Yes, it did.
Tony Khan, the 30, 40-year-old, I don't know how old the man is, but peeps, You can't tell me you're the CEO of a company and you're doing shit like this.
Yeah.
Are you that stupid? Like, bro. So nah, I don't say anything, right? I keep it like that. I keep it a buck. I'm just like, okay, you know what? Moving on. Whatever. Mind you, right? This ends up being insane due to the fact that AEW puts on a good show. Great show, I may add.
Yes.
NXT did the same.
Yes.
Nobody lacked. People did what they wanted to do. They did right. I appreciated it. I liked it. But I have to say, peeps, if you were probably one of those people, I was one of those people. I recorded Dynamite to DVR, and I watched NXT. I'm just being for real.
I was actually back and forth, which was it gave me Attitude Era vibes and back and forth, and I was like, oh, this is
see, I would have where if I was at home, I would have had both up on my screen.
Yeah.
But the thing was that I was at work, and it's like the signal was so bad to the point that if I move from one channel to the other, like the signal is gonna go out, and I might be delayed by like 5 minutes. So I had to stay on one network. So I had one choice, and I was just like, listen, who's on NXT? Oh yeah, Taker. So you know what? I'm staying on NXT.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I got home, watched it, and I liked it. But there's one thing, okay? There's one thing that I'm gonna go ahead and speak on right now. And if you guys like it, you let me know. If you guys don't, let me know as well. But what I'm gonna say is that I'm gonna be speaking as the as a phenomenal one. But being that I'm the phenomenal one, I'm gonna be speaking like I'm rich as well. So y'all are gonna get the real me right now, and I'm not gonna be holding back on nothing. So the fact of the matter is this: I made a reel right last Wednesday, this past Wednesday, after the show, and it's regarding the situation that transpired. What was it? It was Tuesday.
Yes.
And it has to do with Juice Robinson and MJF. Okay. And look, to the people that I sent it to, and I apologize to, most of you guys said, look, you have a reason to go ahead and state your case. You said what you said with conviction, and you stand by that. Be real and, like nothing less. And, I stand by that. I appreciate the people that said that to me. And, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. If you guys haven't yet seen it, I'm going to go ahead and put it up for the screen for you guys so you guys can actually see what the heck I'm talking about here. Some of you are just like, wait, what is he about to get into? Like, what is he implying? Like, oh, damn, are we in some deep stuff today? Like, I don't know. But don't worry, guys. I'm about to go ahead and put it up on the screen for you guys so you guys can actually get where I'm coming from with this. And trust me, there is some vulgar language in it. Understand that. But mind you, as I said, it was me coming from the heart. So if it's not safe for work, if it's not suitable for you, parental control, I understand. Look, parental discretion is advised during the making of this video. All right. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and watch it, right, peeps?
Go right on ahead.
All right, no problem. Ah, man. Okay. Let's refresh this.
$10 worth. You know what I do with these?
You gotta be fucking kidding me. It is October 2023, and with everything that we've been hearing about in the past week, AEW still found a way to go ahead and pull through this important episode of Dynamite on Tuesday, and they pulled this shit. Tony Khan, with all due respect, you are one stupid son of a bitch. Now, I get it. Yes, there's a bunch of dark humor that usually floats around in the world. I'm one for it. I'm a sucker for dark humor, but are you kidding me? There was nothing humorous about this shit. It was just dark. Now, my question is, who the fuck signed off on this? Because whoever did, you're retarded. Your champion, your world champion, is Jewish. I fucking give up. I know some people are about to say, well, Phenomenal One, this shit happened in the 90s. People didn't give a fuck then. Oh, it happened in the 2000s. Did anybody blink an eye? Look, I get it. And I'm not trying to say anything about it now. But the fact of the matter is, people are going to say something about this. People are going to crap on AEW. Y'all got to issue an apology quick. And it's not to me because I don't care much. But I'm just saying, bro, your fans, oh, you're done for. I digress.
You know what's so funny? I just noticed that I was muted. Thank you, Taekwon. Appreciate that one. Mic off, I know. But look, here's the thing. So this is how you know that I don't curse, especially when it comes to me being on TV like this and on the air. Look, here's the thing. Taekwon just said it. Phenomenal One. Cursing doesn't sound convincing. It's like a child learning to curse. He's doing a serious voice like it's a Disney sitcom. This would take Sid, by the way. Funny thing is, this was all one take. That's the first thing. But here's the thing. Hot Rod. Oh my God, such Evan language, my child. You need to wash your goddamn mouth with soap. I understand. Listen, I understand. But you see, this is what I'm saying. This is how pissed off I was upon this. So look, I don't like getting into politics, especially when it comes to wrestling. Like, I hate that. Like, even when it comes to sports, peeps, I don't stand on like having to go ahead and sit there and like, it's sports for a reason. It's sports entertainment, professional wrestling. You know, we tend to go ahead and do certain things. Yes, I understand that. But then there's other times where it's just like, yo, you don't have to get into politics, you know. So here's the thing. Now, what I don't get is this. I, for one, right? I sit there and I watch the news and I see all of this going on, right? Mind you, peeps, WrestleMania 7 happened during the Gulf War. Vince McMahon chose to let Sergeant Slaughter do a different persona, turn heel, claiming that he was denouncing the U.S. and joining Iraq, I believe, or Iran. And
Iraq, yeah.
Peeps, WrestleMania was supposed to be at the Coliseum that year. Am I wrong?
You're correct.
And the reason that they moved it from the Coliseum to the Los Angeles Sports Complex was because Slaughter was getting death threats. And
at least that's what they wanted you to believe, but a lot of it was ticket sales were not as good.
Ticket sales were not okay.
Yeah, but there was a security mindset that, you know, we might not want to go that route there in this big open air arena. So kind of let's change the venue. So, yes.
So, so that happened. Muhammad Hassan, which is much more recent than almost every other person here.
Yes.
Muhammad Hassan, right after the London bombings, did a segment with The Undertaker, which kindly provoked him having a group of guys in Taliban masks assaulting The Undertaker, right? While Muslim religious chants were being echoed out through the arena, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, that was what the portrayal was supposed to invoke.
Okay.
Yes.
And you don't think that the issue would be that, but knowing that it's happening in America, right? And then you got this happening right after London bombings just happened. And then on top of that, the U.S., who suffered pretty much drastically in loss of life from people around that sector doing such heinous things, right? You know it was going to be a bad look from the start. So what did they end up doing to Muhammad Hassan? Didn't they just cut him loose?
Pretty much. The issue was that the network that SmackDown was on, which was UPN. Mm-hmm. They warned, the WWE warned they did not like the story that they were going to do or the character and the way that they were going to use them. So UPN warned Vince McMahon and the WWE, do not show the story because it was taped. And they told them not to air it, which they aired anyway. Mm-hmm. And it got the WWE in a whole heap of trouble with the network. It almost got them kicked off of UPN. And they had to kind of issue an apology, and certain networks around the nation kind of cut SmackDown off at the time. So, yeah, those are the kinds of things that you have to think about when you are doing something pro wrestling related, entertainment related, sports related, is that you blur the line between reality and kayfabe and entertainment. And there is a way to do it without literally pissing everybody off.
Exactly. So that's two, right? Those who don't know history are always condemned to repeat it. That's a quote that I've learned straight up in history class since I was literally like, what, in Tidy Whities. That's how far back that quote is stuck with me. And it's true, because look, we're currently in a time where Israel is going to war with Palestine. Kind of sounds familiar, right, peeps? Because it sounds like something that happened way back before. Okay, so history is repeating itself in that sense. Juice Robinson. Yes, guys, before you say anything. Yes, I know. Juice Robinson has been using the same amount of quarters to hit and assault any other person with.
Yes.
One easily being FTR. That I remember. Now, peeps, all I'm saying is that I'm not mad at it. Because look, we know MJF was going to want to go ahead and pull a storyline like this. He was going to be one who wanted to sign off on it. But this is the problem with letting wrestlers do what they feel as if they want to do and not putting your foot down on certain instances. Because, peeps, honestly, truth be told, it was bad timing. Just bad timing.
Yeah.
And you doing this, as you said to me, them doing this is tone deaf. It's like you're not even looking at what's going on in the world. You just pop on the wrestler. It's like, yeah, why not? If the timing was literally last year, peeps, would people be talking about this right now?
This probably could have been done last month.
Yep.
And it wouldn't get as much of the attention. But exactly. Because of one, the temperature of what's going on, and two, either way, because the whole point of this argument isn't to argue either way what's what. It's the content that's being used within wrestling. And as a Phenomenal One said, that we had a long text conversation about this. And I basically said, as it was quoted, I said, this is incredibly insensitive and incredibly tone deaf. And it's not going to look good in the eyes of the fans who looking at wrestling as an escape from all of the stuff that's going on right now in the first place. Now, the part of this is, and this is the caveat that I dangle in front of this, is the fact that obviously MJF had to sign off on this, because if this was not done in a certain way, this would look even worse than it's been portrayed. Second of all, MJF, I believe it was Thursday, was at an anti-Semitism kind of a function where he spoke about those kinds of things. And this is kind of going into his development of his character, which he's talked about in interviews on camera about being bullied as a Jewish kid, learning how to, grow up from the bullying, et cetera, et cetera. And that's kind of delved into MJF's character as he's evolved in front of the fans, especially now that he is a huge face in AEW. And that's one of the things that he's been trying to kind of develop with the fans, to get the fans on his side, to know he is a human being and not the scumbag that he's portrayed himself over the last 3.5 years. Now that this is the case, we have the same kinds of hints of real world offensiveness that the fans will probably like, ooh, I don't know if I would have done that. Or maybe if I would have done it, I wouldn't have done it now, based on what's going on right now. And I
Example,
think that's what
Roddy,
the main issue is.
example, Roddy Piper with blackface.
Oh, that was yes.
That's easily one of the ones that we can obviously use.
So much so that match has been edited off of Peacock and the WWE Network just because of how insensitive it is. So when we talk about professional wrestling and we talk about sports entertainment, which the WWE has coined the phrase, there are going to be certain storyline aspects that are going to skirt real life on a certain level. The problem is that balance of how far do we go in wrestling. I give you another instance that's happened in the WWE or going back to WWF. If you remember Dustin Rhodes' wife, Marlena, as she was being portrayed, where they went with a pregnancy angle, where they were trying to find out, is she pregnant? And then something happened where she was knocked off of the apron and then basically was saying, oh, she may actually lose this purported child, which obviously the way that it was explained was she was faking it to get under the skin of the person she was in this feud with. But the portrayal of this is something that will understandably upset people on either side of any argument. And that's not what you want when you want to look at pro wrestling. You want a strong storyline. You want something that'll make you care about the character. You also want to make sure that the in-ring work is done well so that we're talking about it. But if you have to think about everything to this extent and you're getting the negativity, knowing what could happen, you're going to then invite all of that into your product that you're going to have to explain away. And that's the dangerous part about what happened. And Tony Khan allowed this to happen at the wrong time, because I understand the storyline. Yeah, as you explained it, I understand the storyline, and I understand MJF and what he's trying to establish within this storyline. It's very, very tone deaf. And a lot of people were definitely offended. And I definitely can't blame them either.
So here's the thing. Here's the funny part about it. I put this thing out on Wednesday. Thursday, a fan, right, goes ahead and points this out, right, in a tweet following what TMZ said. Because TMZ went ahead and report. If TMZ has to report about wrestling in this way, you know it's messed up. I'm just saying, because who TMZ reporting on wrestling, like pro wrestling, whether it be kayfabe storyline, is they're reporting on that. That's all I'll say. But still, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you this, peeps, and you tell me what you think of this.
Okay.
Literally, Travis Akers, right, goes ahead and puts out. He's like, it's amazing to me that Tony would slide into my DMs to express his displeasure with me critiquing his decision to promote anti-Semitic storylines the week that Israel was attacked by terrorists. Spoiled billionaires. And here's what Tony had said, right? Tony says, I got the point that you didn't like the angle on the second tweet, Travis. Message was received hours ago. I don't think quote tweeting TMZ is doing too much good. So instead of using the same platform that you're using to DM people who are telling you that they're fans of you, who love the product, who appreciate what you've done for wrestling, the ones that actually stand by you, and they're telling you, yo, listen, like, this was kind of way out of line. And you're going to go ahead and just tell them that, oh, you saying something and quote tweeting TMZ about it is not doing too much good, then what good was it supposed to do? What was it supposed to do, Tony? Explain to me what the hell it was supposed to do. What? Was it supposed to sit there and, garner the attention of millions? I mean, for God's sakes, it has now. Because you've done it now, boy. I mean, you showed. You're telling me that to your fans, you're going to throw them under like this. Disevaluate the situation and not show care to the fans that are actually trying to go ahead and cater to you. The ones that watch you, the ones that are saying, yo, listen, like, This was out of line. But nah, he doesn't do that. But you know what he does do, peeps?
Enlighten me.
This SOB chooses to go on Twitter this day after, peeps. Literally this day after, right? And he had a couple of tweets for the fans. And I'm just going to peeps, you can't make this up. Have mercy. This man says this, and I quote, "This weekend marks 1 year since Mayo Clinic saved my mom's life. During her ordeal, many AEW talent came to me alleging WWE tampering, inducing them to break their contracts. I'll never forget these phone calls at her side in the hospital. It's when business became personal for me. This is nothing new. I mentioned it last year after she came home. It's relevant today because she checked in for surgery 1 year ago today. As I've mentioned several times, Mayo Clinic are heroes, and thanks to them, her recovery from a very grim outlook has been a miracle. Moving on. Not that I should be surprised, but the same WWE avatar accounts that spam me every day, no matter what I say or what it's about, now churning their wrath to my mom recovering from her near-death experience, is why I straight hate these people to the bottom of my heart with all my soul." Then just casually puts out that tonight, Friday night, AEW Rampage on TNT tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. You can't make this up.
So let me get this straight. He uses a very personal account of what he's going through with his mother to then rag on his doubters and then promote AEW Dynamite. All in the same stream of consciousness flow of his, directed with seemingly glee and anger at the same time, and has the temerity to say, watch the show. You know, there are times when I am absolutely flabbergasted by some of the things that that happens within the wrestling business. That's one of them. I cannot. This is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to put this in the context of what the WWE NXT ratings were, and then I'm going to kind of fold everything in the same way you would.
No, peeps, I'll let you get to it. One more thing.
Okay, sure.
So yeah, right after, the whole thing, the next day, right? Before I even put this out, we hear that the ratings come out and NXT did 921,000. And, of course, Dynamite did 603, I believe, or
609,000.
609, okay. So peeps, he then goes on. I don't get it. He then goes on and he's like, "Oh, guys, this is the first time that John Cena and The Undertaker were on a show that did less than 1,400,000 on the demographic." Bro, you did 600K. Calm down. You had Edge. Listen, you had Edge, Christian, Daniel Bryan on your show going head to head against WWE. And y'all did 600K. Don't you think that was the first time they ever did 600K? Peeps, I'm just being for real. Like, you're telling me that you're this petty. You're that.
Yes.
And what I heard was that WWE was pissed off at what he said. And now I'm hearing that in November, the 17th, peeps, SmackDown and Rampage are going head to head.
Okay.
It's over. It's over.
Okay.
So, I don't care. Go.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying, man. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
Well, there you go. All right. That's number 6.
Oh, Pete, hold on. Taekwondo just said something. He's like, "Me, when I was 5, my dad touched me, but that touching led to my love of grappling. So tune in to Monday Night Raw on USA Network, 8 p.m. Eastern."
You know,
I mean,
That's exactly how that sounds. Not to sound flippant about something like that, but that's literally
No,
what it came
definitely.
across as.
No, facts. Facts. Like,
Good
what?
grief. I
Anyway,
tell you right now, when I listen to all of this, the one thing that we've joked around over the years about Tony Khan being very thin-skinned because he's a young guy running a huge wrestling company that is the main competition for the biggest wrestling company in the world in WWE, where just about every metric the WWE is on top in global sales, in merchandising, in ticket sales, pay-per-view / premium live event revenue, mind share, social media, literally any metric you can come up with. WWE has the edge, and in some metrics, a huge, untouchable edge in that. So when you look at the ratings and say, okay, this is the first time since last year that they went head to head because of the sports playoffs, etc., where they had to move their show. The last time they went head to head, and I had to look this up, it took a while. AEW barely beat NXT 750,000 to 696,000, which is by no stretch of the imagination a blowout. But NXT still lost that. And that was when they had Shinsuke Nakamura on the show and they had a couple of other people from the WWE's roster. That was last year. So you figure Shotzi, Asuka, John Cena, Paul Heyman, LA Knight, Rhea Ripley, and The Undertaker, all on this past episode's NXT. And just for that added good measure, Cody was on there to kind of tell everybody, I'm going to be the GM for one night only, and I'm going to help book matches for NXT tonight.
Oh, yeah, the bada bing, bada boom, battle royal.
Exactly.
Gosh. And I'm hearing he's on it next week too. So
wow, not a surprise. But you see the point. They did 921,000 versus AEW 609,000. NXT did a 7.5% increase from the week before, where AEW had its lowest viewership so far at 609,000 for Dynamite. If you're looking at those metrics, the most important metric that Tony Khan always talks about is 18 to 49. 18 to 49, they did a 0.3, talking about NXT. AEW did a 0.26 in that important demographic. That's the lowest AEW has done since June. The WWE, they don't necessarily need to do a whole lot now to beat AEW as far as what they've been doing, because they have the roster that they can decide to, you know what? NXT, which I've grabbed the quote from somebody else that said they are the Muppet Baby version of the Attitude Era. I love that quote. I got to find out who came up with that quote and give them the right context and the right credit for it. But no, that is the case. All they have to do is pluck. Oh, is Rhea going to be here? Oh, Dominic is going to be here, who, by the way, is the NXT North American champion, who was on the roster with an NXT championship. So let's pluck them. Let's go ahead and pluck John Cena. Oh, let's go ahead and get The Undertaker. Probably the biggest name to come out of the WWE in the last 30 or so years. You know, you've heard of him. You know, it doesn't make a difference. We've heard of The Undertaker. And to go ahead and say that AEW and the WWE did this on a Tuesday, and they weren't really going up against, say, Monday Night Football. This goes to show you AEW has a lot of big ways to go. And I personally believed that the AEW show, just for me, was a better show than NXT. Just slightly. And the reason why is because they had the better in-ring matches for my taste. Especially the first match of the show, which ironically for both shows was the biggest segment for both shows. The first half hour and change were commercial free. So the first segment that NXT did, they got the highest of their entire show. That and the overrun with The Undertaker.
I think they did 940. I think they did like 946, 945 around that for like the first couple of minutes, like just for the opening, right?
Yes, and it established what they were going to do for the rest of the show. AEW show the first half hour, which was without question one of the best matches AEW has put on there between Swerve and Bryan Danielson. For those that didn't see that match, you missed a treat. That was one great match. And to see that, AEW really didn't come close ratings-wise the rest of the night. Nope. So if you're going to look at ratings and you're going to look at what's happening with the product in ring, the wrestlers that are there. Now, mind you, you said they had Adam Copeland in the main event against Luchasaurus. They still had Christian. Matter of fact, Christian Cage started the show by basically saying, I'm hijacking the production truck. I'm using my money to make the first half hour, which was a good way to explain why they went out a half an hour or a little bit more than half an hour commercial free, which was good.
It's just like, you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, Christian Cage is my father. I think that made very much, you know. Yeah.
Christian is having the best heel work.
Definitely.
This season. MJF is right now a face. As far as the heel goes, he's without question the best heel in AEW right now. Questionably in all of wrestling as we go forward. But AEW, they got to recognize this is year 4. There are still really good things that this company does, but there are also a lot of bad habits and bluster off of the edges that need to be addressed, because they are really, really pushing it in the eyes of a lot of wrestling fans that those that look at AEW are going to see these antics, with Tony Khan being a very sensitive person, going on Twitter or X or whatever the heck you want to call it, and whatever social media he can grasp his hands on, and trying to denigrate the WWE's product and NXT. And it's going to come back and bite him badly if he doesn't rein that in and learn from his mistakes. And I've been saying this for years. Do not concern yourself with what WWE is doing. You take care of your own product, take care of the home court, and you improve to make the AEW product the best product it can be. You've got Adam Copeland, big superstar get. I'm pretty sure this won't be the last big name that they add to the roster, and concentrate on that. That is all they need to do. Period.
Exactly. Just focus on theirs. But yeah, Tony Khan for you, man. Tony Khan for you. Jesus Christ. Taekwon said this last but not least. He's like, hey, Roman, you got Yokozuna's body. Revive that.
Oh, boy.
Here he goes. Here he goes. But yeah, so that happened.
Yeah, that did happen. Yes.
Damn it, peeps. Well, wrestling in a nutshell. I swear to God, peeps, if I have to go ahead and hear about more tweets this week. Yeah.
Just remember, Collision is tonight. We don't know what Tony Khan is going to do later on tonight.
What is he going to say now? What is he going to say now? My mom and dad divorced each other and he was banging some other hot wife.
Go watch Collision tonight at 8. Go watch Collision tonight at 8. Come on. I digress.
Nah, peeps.
That's number 7.
Peeps. Imagine 127 now. But peeps, imagine this. When I was 4, I called my mom and my dad in their room, and she called him a wild thing. Watch John Moxley's return. Not that date on the
Oh, good grief! Yeah,
bro, peeps. This is gonna be our new ways to promote same. So
yes,
it's an amazing idea.
Yeah, he has nobody to blame but himself for this, because right now he has to rein it in. And I would not be surprised if people in the locker room have told him, you got to kind of cut this out. This is not helping.
Like he knows what to do, peeps. Oh my gosh, he only just has his Twitter, and that's about it, man.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Hey, well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that marks the end of Saturday afternoon's main event today. We appreciate you guys for going ahead and tuning in, listening to us. What we have to say, we always appreciate what you guys have to say, especially Taekwon. You're always on the money, bro. We appreciate you, man.
Yes.
Everybody that tuned in, even new guys. Kanachi from Ontario, Canada. We appreciate
Yes.
you more,
We
man.
got people from Canada, eh?
Canada.
Canada, eh?
Canada, exactly.
Yes.
Oh man, Taekwon's still going on with it. He's like, when I was 15, my girlfriend shot herself in front of me and her blood splattered on my homecoming tux. Also, collision to that.
Oh, good grief.
Bro.
Like I said, Tony Khan, he took himself for this one.
Yup.
Yup.
Oh man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, as we said, this marks the end. We appreciate you guys. Next week, no Sam. I'll give you guys the heads up now. The Phenomenal One has a family matter to attend to, so there won't be any Sam. We will reconvene the week after. So don't worry about it, guys. We will be around. We will be here. And we'll catch you guys in 2 weeks. And with that being said, we did all of this today on this episode of Saturday Afternoon's Main Event. Bro, we came.
Oh yeah. You know what? You just jumped on that one. Okay,
Yeah,
let's do that one over again. We'll do that one over again.
This is what happens when Tony Khan thoughts are in your head.
Yes.
It happens.
There you go. Yes.
But yes, on this episode of Saturday Afternoon's Main Event.
You know who you are. I know who I am. If you don't, that's your problem. That's it. Okay, there we go. Thank the wise man, Paul Heyman. Wave goodbye, and we'll see you next week or 2 weeks. Yes, he's a phenomenal one. I'm the Peeps Nate. He came, we saw, and in the words of Paul Heyman, we conquered. There we go. See how a magnanimous partner I am, my friend. There you go.
In the words of the Triple C, that's it.
That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all ages, see you in 2 weeks. It's a Phenomenal One. It's the Peeps today. It's Saturday Afternoon's Main Event. Signing off. Peace, love, farewell.